We all know that everyone likes to party. We also know that most people like to drink, even those that are underage. But the question to be asked is, are those who drink ready to handle that responsibility that comes with this self-indulgence? Is drinking and then driving under the influence worth risking your life and the lives of others, no matter how fine you think you are? To prevent against drunk driving, people must first know what the term drunk driving is. People must also understand BAC and the consequences of drunk driving if caught by police. Today I will discuss what drunk driving is, the problems associated with this type of behavior, and then offer a few alternative solutions to drinking and driving. Let's start by defining the term drunk driving. Drunk driving is also known as driving under the influence, or DUI. According to the sociologist Joseph Gusfield, noted for his work on alcohol in American society, behind all legislation aimed at curtailing drinking and driving is the image of the killer drunk, the morally flawed character who has committed more than one ordinary traffic violation. Unlike the social drinker, who knows his limits and respects the law, the drinking driver is a villain who threatens the lives of the innocent through indulgence in his own pleasure. The specter of the killer drunk is the key image that animates the dominant paradigm, to use the term coined by H. Lawrence Ross, another American sociologist. The dominant paradigm understands that there is a safe drinking level for the great mass of responsible drunk drivers, differentiated from the levels regularly achieved by the small minority of reckless drunken drivers. The problem, in fact, is not drinking and driving, but drunken driving. The dominance of this paradigm in the United States is one reason why the term drunken driving is used so often there, in contrast to most European nations and Australia, where drinking and driving, or drink driving, are the most popular terms. Now that we know what drunk driving is, we can move on to defining BAC. BAC stands for blood alcohol concentration. According to the University of North Carolina Highway Research Center, BAC refers to the amount of alcohol contained in a person's blood. It is measured as weight per volume of unit. The average man would attain a BAC of 0.5 or higher if he drinks 3 standard drinks, or 3 mid-sized glasses of mid-strength beer, within 1 hour without eating. Studies found that relative crash risks increase dramatically with BAC. At a 0.5, the risk is doubled that for a 0 BAC driver. At 0.8, the risk is multiplied by 10, while at 0.15 or higher, which are the levels typically attained by drivers arrested for drinking and driving, the relative risk is in the hundreds. According to the Governor's Highway Safety Association, all states define drinking with a blood alcohol concentration, or BAC, at or above 0.08% as a crime, although specific laws and penalties can vary substantially from state to state. The most important factor that determine BAC are the presence of food in the stomach, the concentration of alcohol consumed, the rate and volume of alcohol consumed, and gender. Consuming more than 1 drink per hour causes the BAC to increase rapidly, because it typically exceeds the rate at which the body can metabolize the alcohol. The percentage of body fat that contributes to a person's total weight also affects BAC. A larger proportion of fat provides less body water in which the alcohol can distribute. This increases BAC. Because of this, women generally have a higher BAC for a given number of drinks when compared to a man, even when accounting for the difference in body weight associated with sex. Now that we know what BAC is, we can discuss the penalties associated with drunk driving and being caught with a BAC higher than the legal limit. Penalties for drunk driving continue to become tougher over the years as the cost of this dangerous behavior rises. Reckless alcohol consumption among young people has also risen remarkably, and it has been met with sharp intolerance. There are often fewer legal limits for minor drivers and longer driver's license suspensions. According to Richard A. Leader, who wrote Drunk Driving, National Survey of State Laws, virtually every state suspends the driver's license on a first offense, and the length of suspension increases sharply with each successive offense. Several states include revocation on the third or fourth offense. The newest development in the laws of drunk driving concern court-ordered attendance at an alcohol abuse rehabilitation program upon conviction for driving while intoxicated. Most have some sort of rehabilitation requirements for both problem drinkers and drivers. According to Jeffrey Wilson, who wrote Driving Under the Influence in the Gale Encyclopedia of Everyday Law, states have expanded their drunk driving statutes to provide for harsher punishments when drunk driving has resulted in injury to another. In cases where a person causes injury to another while drinking and driving, that person may be charged with a felony, which is punishable by a term in state prison. With severe expansion of criminal law, some states now incorporate their murder or manslaughter statutes with their DUI laws, where drunk driving results in the death of another. In some states, a person may be charged with assault with a deadly weapon for driving a car while intoxicated. The car will be considered to be the deadly weapon. A person who is convicted of drunk driving most likely faces the following punishments: a fine, time in jail, suspension, restriction, or revocation of the defendant's driver's license, probation, enrollment and completion of a course in drunk driving or alcoholism. Courts can even order the sale of a person's car after the person has had multiple convictions of drunk driving. However, the most serious consequence of drunk driving is death. I seriously hope that by understanding what drunk driving is, what BAC is, and knowing the consequences of drunk driving, that you take this seriously. I hope that I have persuaded you all to think twice before getting behind the wheel of a car while drunk. There is nothing wrong with wanting to party and have fun while drinking, but we all must realize that drinking is a great responsibility. If you are going to drink, then don't drive. Take a cab or implement designated drivers. Drinking and driving is not worth risking your life or the lives of others. Remember that buzz driving is drunk driving.